I'm Maddie. I think a lot of you know me already. So DBT, click, mindfulness, DBT. Yes, so I'm here to talk about, actually go back. I'm going to start over for us, go back. So first of all, a little background about me. I'm almost 22 and I've spent over 50% of my life dealing with doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever, counselors, and getting really frustrated being put on different medications my whole life. This kind of follows really well what Carol and Olga have been talking about. And I almost gave up on the system, and then I found this program in Calgary called that does dialectical behavioral therapy. Okay, click. Sorry, I'm just going to kind of do a lot of reading now. So dialectical behavioral therapy was developed by Marcia Linehan to treat people with borderline personality disorder, which I will explain what that is in a second. It combines the standard cognitive behavioral therapy that we all know pretty well through psychology, techniques for emotion regulation and reality testing with concepts of distress tolerance, acceptance, and mindful awareness. Raz, I can't see the bottom of the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show up or not.
Oh, okay, alright, that's okay. Largely derived from Buddhist meditative practice, so click. Yeah, so DBT isn't just for people with borderline, and no? Is it good? Okay. Yeah, isn't just for people with borderline, but I like to explain what this is still because even though I don't like how our current system labels people with these disorders, because I agree it is an issue with the system and with our health and what we're putting in our bodies and how we're disconnected from our societies, our communities, but I like the convenience of these labels to kind of explain the symptoms of these disorders or diseases in society. So anyways, it's a personality disorder described as a prolonged disturbance of personality function in a person, characterized by depth and variability of moods. It typically involves levels of instability in mood, black and white thinking, also called splitting, and often manifests itself in idealization and devaluation episodes. So you're just highs and lows constantly, where you're no, everything's great, everything's fantastic, and you're kind of separated from reality, or all of a sudden it's low and you're in this terrible emotional state where logic just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. Yeah. So yeah, click. Which goes into the states of mind. So we have the rational, logical mind, which can, if you're only in that, it can kind of replicate being a robot, where you have no empathy, or you're almost cold in a way. But it's really useful if we're talking about doing math or trying to work our way through problems like that. And so emotional mind is what I just mentioned, where you're just kind of out of control. And of course the balance, as all things in life should be balanced, is the wise mind, where you, next, click. Yes, I guess I kind of already went over this, but I'll read it anyways. Facts and common sense, so the framework of reasonable mind. Yes, you're a reasonable mind when you think logically and rationally. This intellectual or scientific state of mind defines reality in terms of facts, numbers, equations, or cause and effect. Whether balancing your checkbook, baking a cake, or working a crossword puzzle, you need the knowledge of reasonable mind. Yes, there you go, click. Alright, so if reasonable mind runs cool, then emotion mind runs hot. Passionate, extreme, and intense reactions in emotion mind make reasonable, logical thinking difficult, which is what I was already saying, yay. Emotion mind can flood your system with energy and anger, or zap your energy in depression. So it's kind of that back and forth balance I was talking about. Click. And the balance, yay. Wise mind is the active integration of emotional and reasonable mind. It brings together the logic of reasonable mind and the sensitivity of emotional mind. So you relate what you know, your smarts, to your problems, what hurts. You're being skillful and in your wise mind. It joins what you know to your problems. More wise mind, yay. Wise mind is calm, almost always quiet and peaceful. it's like right now, even if I'm nervous up here, I can still read. Obviously, it's pretty common sense. So, yes. So, next. Yes, next. Click, click, click. Go, click. Okay. Click. Yes. Okay. So in DBT, there are 4 areas that you work on. Usually it's a group therapy because then you have a support system, but it's core mindfulness, distress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness, and emotion regulation. Click. So I wanted to just kind of focus on mindfulness today because it's a really basic concept, and I think a lot of people here are familiar with meditation practices already. But I'll go over the other ones as well. So yes, it's one of the core concepts behind all of DBT. It helps individuals accept and tolerate the super powerful emotions. It's helped me so much personally. That may feel when challenging their habits or exposing themselves to upsetting situations or just new situations. It doesn't have to be negative. And the concept of mindfulness and the meditative exercises used to teach it are derived from Buddhism, so that's where the kind of meditation comes in. Click. Mindfulness exercises like meditation develop inner calm, emotional control, perseverance, and the strong sense of self. And I personally think my life goal is to strive for a strong sense of self and to be able to be mindful with other people, with my interactions. So, he found that there was a fellow that found that meditation could elicit what he called the relaxation response, which is the physiological opposite of stress and anxiety. So I'm personally really familiar with stress, so this wonderful world of meditation is great. Click. So these are kind of DBT is a really specific program because a lady who developed this went through what would be considered borderline and developed this through her own experiences. Like she's got her doctorate. And anyway, so these are the skills for mindfulness. So to observe, to non-judgmentally observe one's environment within or outside oneself. It helps you kind of figure out what's going on. It's I'm sure a lot of you already use these skills, but I like this because it's really practical, puts it in to a way anyone can understand and analyze. So anyway, so describe, like what I just did. This is used to express what one is observed with the observe skill. Woohoo! Participate. So that's when you become interactive. Obviously, it's pretty basic. Click. Yes, and the how skills. So non-judgmentally, this is the action of describing the facts. You don't think about something as good or bad. Like if I say I forgot my wallet and I want to say, oh well, I'm dumb because I forgot my wallet. That's not true. I just made a mistake. It's not a big deal. So you don't want to use judgmental language, and that's a really great way to foster better relationships too. So and then the one mindfully is to focus in on oneself, which is the more familiar meditative practice. Is where you're more introspective. So click. Okay, now we're on to the 3 other sections that I'll just go over really quickly. So current approaches to mental health treatment focus on changing the distressing events and circumstances, and I mean that's not always in our control. They paid little attention to accepting, finding meaning is a big part of DBT. Like why is this happening, or why is it affecting you, and then tolerating the distress. So it has generally been tackled by psychodynamic, psychoanalytic, gestalt, or narrative therapies, along with religious and spiritual communities and leaders. So the dialectical behavior therapy, though, emphasizes learning to bear the pain if it's the situation's under your control, or if it just really doesn't matter, if you get to learn to chill out. So, click. Emotion regulation. This is a huge part of it, one of the toughest parts. But individuals with borderline, or just your average Joe, personality disorder, and suicidal individuals are frequently emotionally intense and labile. So they can be angry, frustrated, depressed, anxious. I've been these 100 times over, still experience it. And suggest that these clients, or just people, might benefit from help in learning to regulate their emotions. So that's, again, pretty straightforward. And so identifying and labeling the emotions, so kind of like what I'm doing here, where a lot of us might already have these skills, but just being able to put it into words and really being mindful of what your actions and emotions truly are, will help you. So, next. Interpersonal effectiveness. Yay, do you want to be my friend? Let's be friends. Okay. Interpersonal response patterns taught in DBT are very similar to assertiveness and interpersonal problem-solving classes. So just like self-help. Include strategies for asking what one needs, saying no, which I have a huge problem with, and coping with interpersonal conflict. Instead of placing blame on someone, you can resolve the problem. Yes. That's cut off too much, and I'm not sure what it said. Something about we have good interpersonal skills. Yay, click. So again, why DBT? So I know there's 100,000 other ways to kind of do meditation or to kind of find that self-healing mode, but I like it because for a lot of people there's too much stigma on the spiritual side that going through kind of the modern health system makes it really accessible and practical, and yeah, it's just more accessible and practical. There we go. Not just for people with BBT, obviously. And yeah, you're not just bettering yourself, you're opening yourself up to new experiences and to the community. So you can, by behaving in this way and carrying yourself with this mindfulness and this like kind of regulation, other people will naturally be inspired. And there you go, click. Yes, I'm at the end. Okay, so honestly, most of the information I got here is all over the web already, so I just kind of copy pasted from Wikipedia because it's pretty useful. Hey, Wikipedia. And but dbtselfhelp.com is really awesome if you guys want to check out more and read more up on it. And there are a couple programs in Calgary. The Bridging the Gap one, I have pamphlets if anyone just wants to call and ask some questions, but it's for 16 to 24 when you start. But there are other adult ones through like Alberta Health Services you can just call or research. And yeah, there's my email, or come talk to me and you can ask me all the questions you want. Yay, DBT!